Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and in this video, it's kind of a fun little comparison we have going on here. They all, of course, have at least one thing in common, and that would be the full Loom dial shootout video comparison, whatever we want to call it. So, starting from left to right, on the left we have the Damasko DA37. Then we have the Glycine GL0069. Then we have the Zelos Horizons version 2 GMT. And then we have the Zelos Horizons 200 meter dive watch, 39 millimeter. And then on the right, we have the Zelos Swordfish frost dial. This one is the oldest of the bunch, and this one is a 300 meter dive watch. This one I already said is 200 meter, 100 meter water resistance, and then 100 meter water resistance on the left here. I'm not sure if you were in the market for one of these, if you would be in the market for another one. Just basically this watch on the left is on loan, and since I've had these other full Loom dials, I figured I'd put together a little video here just comparing them all to each other. So kind of a fun video, at least it's fun for me anyway. So let's talk about the movements. These three on the left actually have Swiss movements. This has the ETA 2824-2. These two also have ETA movement. I forgot the exact movement number, but I believe this one has it on the case back. ETA 2893, I think I saw. Yep, there we go. ETA 2893. Zoom back out a bit here. And then this one here, this has the Miyota 9015 movement, and then this has the Seiko NH35 movement, or is it the 4R35? Must be the NH35 because it's not a Seiko watch. It's the same movement, they just call it different names for whatever reason. So let's go over the dimensions of each of these, since I have them all here. Well, actually, this one has the ice hardened case, so it's hardened to 60 Rockwell. Basically means everyday use, you're most likely never going to scratch this watch. All of these watches do have sapphire crystal, of course, with they all have AR coating as well. I'll go over the dimensions of these, and then I'll hold a few of these side by side just so you can see the dial color. The Zelos all have the same dial color. But anyway, on to the dimensions. So the Damasko, 48.5 lug to lug. Case diameter on this is 40. Thickness is 12.7. And the lug width is 20. And this is actually the only one without a bezel. So there's the Damasko. Also, the Damasko has the day and the date. Okay, on to the Glycine, which has the longest lug to lug by far. I think that's just the style of the Airman. This is PVD coated. It does have a rotating bezel, but it's not a dive bezel. You can unscrew this here. This is a locking mechanism, and then it just kind of free spins. There's no detents or anything like that. So let me get it back into the right position and screw that back down. I do appreciate that the date window is black with the white text, so the black matches the indices. And also when we get to the Loom, you'll see that there is no Loom where the black color is at. Actually, I think this does have black Loom on the hands. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've looked at this watch, so We'll discover that together in the Loom portion of this video. Oh, sorry, on to the dimensions. 52.5 lug to lug, 41.5 case diameter, and this is 12.5 thick, and lug to lug on this is 22. This would probably be I would say this would be my least favorite. I'm not hating on the watch. It's just out of these, I would probably purchase this one last, but although I did buy it. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So let's move on to the Horizons version 2 GMT from Zelos. I believe this was my first purchase of a new Zelos. I bought this one used. So this one, make sure I'm reading off the right measurements here off my notes. This one is 44.5, 40 millimeter case diameter. And this one's quite thick at 14, due to the box crystal for sure. And this one is, well, I already mentioned all the water resistance, but this one is 200 meter water resistant, 20 millimeter lugs. Has a nice bracelet. Of course, as you can probably see here, I have not worn this watch. Just a part of my collection, and I do need to review this. Okay, on to the next one. I really like it's basically the same case shape as this one, but I really like this one a little bit more for whatever reason. This looks great on my wrist, my 6.5 inch wrist. So this one is 44 lug to lug, 44 lug to lug, 39 case diameter, 12.5 thick. That's due to the Miota movement. One of my, I guess I'll call it my favorite movement. I like that it's nice and thin. It has the high beat, 8 beats per second. Anyway, I lost track. 44 lug to lug, 39 case diameter, 12.5 thick, and 20 millimeter lug width. Kind of laughing at myself a little bit here. Got a lot of watches on the table, and yeah, this will be a fun video. Lastly, we move on to the Zelos Swordfish 42, and of course that's the case diameter. So this is 48 lug to lug. So it does have these fixed center links, which extends that more than the 48. So 48 lug to lug, 42 case diameter. This one's a little thicker at 13.5, which is about the same thickness as my SKX, but this one is 300 meter water resistance versus the 200 on my SKX. And this has 22 millimeter lug width. So let's take a quick look at the dial color. The Zelos, to my eye, all have the same dial color. I think this one's a little bit textured, so it looks a little bit different color. And these two will be the same. Very, very similar looking watches, but this one has the GMT hand, and this was twice the price. Actually, let's talk about the prices real quick. This watch new is $1,150. The Damasko DA37. DA37, sorry. And then the Glycine, I don't remember what I paid for this, but I just looked it up today. It looks like it's out of stock or maybe discontinued. I don't know, but the last price I saw for this was $750. I did not pay that for this. I don't know exactly what I paid. So this one is $900, the Zelos Horizons GMT. This one is $550. And this one, I believe, the Swordfish, I believe, was somewhere around $400, maybe $350. I don't exactly know what it was when it was new. So those are the prices. Let's just look at the dial colors real quickly here. So the Glycine is definitely more of a yellow color to it. The Zelos dials look pretty much like white to me. Actually, I got a piece of paper here with my notes on it. So that pretty much looks like white to me. And then the Damasko, yeah, I guess that's white as well. Let's compare it to the Zelos. You would be, I don't think you would notice, if you're just looking at this in the daylight, I don't think you would notice that this is a full Loom dial. This one here has kind of a funky color, so you may notice that. But anyway, let's get each of these on wrist, and then we can move on to the star of the show, the most important part of this, the Loom video. All right, so let's see how this looks on my 6.5-inch wrist. Such a cool watch, German made. This is Swiss made. I'm not sure where the Zelos are made. I'm assuming China, or yeah, I don't know where those are made. Doesn't really matter, but German made Damasko DA37 on my 6.5-inch wrist with the 52mm wristband, and lug to lug on this was 48.5. There we are, zoomed out. Set this one back down. I have not really, well, the Swordfish I have worn quite a bit, but the other ones I have not worn. It's got a round hole and a rectangular tang. So anyway, here we go with the Glycine. The lug really doesn't stick out as much because it's a black strap with a PVD coated black watch, but this one was 52.5. So actually the lug to lug on this is the same as my wristband, actually slightly larger. Maybe you'll get a better sense of that when we zoom out here. It's hard to tell because it's black case here. Generally, I'm not a fan of PVD coated black cases. I do have black watches, my G-Shocks and other resin plastic watches, but not metal cased watches. Oh yeah, so this is the older clasp. It doesn't have the micro adjust on it. So here we are with the Horizons GMT, and lug to lug on this is 44.5. I think this watch and this one fit great on my wrist. Kind of remind me of older times, maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago, with a little bit smaller size watches. Nice classic styling. Very nice watch. On to the next one, the Horizons 39 Diver. I like this one more than the GMT. I think I'll be selling that one here. I need to get the video out on that. So this has the newer clasp with the micro adjust, double deployant pushers there. It's a better looking clasp and a little more practical with that on the fly micro adjust. So again, the lug to lug on this was 44. I couldn't decide on what color to get, so I just went with the full Loom. Yeah, I was thinking the teal would have been a good one too, but this is what I bought. So I really like this watch. If you have not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Like the video. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of these watches. Let me know how crazy I am for buying all these things or not. Maybe you have the same obsession. So here we are with the last watch on the table here, the Zelos Swordfish 300 meter diver. This one does feel the heaviest of the bunch as well. I do like this bracelet. It's very nice and comfortable. So there we go. This has the old clasp as well. Well, older clasp. It's quite big and chunky actually. You can see some wear on there. All right, I'll be right back, and we'll check out the Loom on all these together. Well, my arrangement here may be a little unorthodox, but I wanted to try and maximize the screen size and get them all in here together. So let's do the bottom row first. Bottom left here, we have the Damasko DA37, sorry. And then in the middle row of the middle row, we have the Zelos Horizons GMT. Then on the far right, we have the Zelos Swordfish. And moving up here on the right, we have the Horizons 200 meter diver. And then over there on the left, we have the Glycine GL0069. I'll leave them here for a moment, and then I'll pick a few of them up and we can get a little closer look at them. So as you can see, the colors, the Zelos all have this cool blue looking color. And then the hands and indices are the green color. And that green color looks very similar to the full Loom dials on the Damasko and the Glycine. They're not quite as bright by eye as what they are on the screen, but they all have very good Loom. Let me know which is your favorite of these 5 with the Loom. I'll let you know what my favorite is. I like this one up here, the Horizons Diver. That full Loom bezel is very cool. I've not seen too many other watches with this full Loom bezel. So let me just give it a few more seconds here. By eye, the Damasko doesn't look like it has any Loom left on it. It's not nearly as bright as what it is on the screen here. Not at all. So I'll blast them here with the UV light again, and then I'll put these up next to each other. I'll set the Swordfish off to the side. So here it is, up and close. Actually, I'll show them all to you up close right here, and then we can take a look at a few of these side by side. Oh, that's funny. You can see the shadow of the minute hand there from when I hit it with the UV light. That's pretty neat. Yeah, same for this one too. You can see the shadow right through the 6 o'clock marker there. Then let's get the Glycine up here. Yep, same thing. You can see the shadow through the 6 o'clock from the minute hand when it was at the 6 o'clock position. I don't know if I mentioned, but this is also a GMT watch. So we have 2 GMT watches here today. Let's bring up the Damasko. Okay, let's compare these two first. Let me recharge them real quick. Then I'll do the trick. So the glycine does look slightly brighter than the Damasko, but I prefer the dial color on the Damasko during the day. Okay, let's look at the Damasko, and we'll pick this Zelos to represent the 3 Zelos here. Let me hit this again with the UV light. So the Damasko does look a bit brighter. It does look brighter on camera, but also by eye. But I really like how this one looks. All right, and then let's bring over the glycine, and let me hit this one more time with the UV light. If you made it this far, thank you for sticking around. And please go ahead and subscribe. Like the video, leave a comment. So the hands are loomed on the glycine. I had mentioned that earlier. I thought that they were loomed. I wasn't exactly sure, but the loom on the hands really is not that great. And it's really not necessary. I don't know why they would have bothered applying loom, a black loom, to these hands. I think that will conclude the video. Thank you for watching, and catch you on the next one.